Hello everyone, my name is Paineyes and my student ID is 260399264. This video will be focusing on the entire IT infrastructure landscape of Quality Software SDN BHD, a Malaysian-based IT services company and software solutions provider. Quality Software SDN BHD is a company that deals with software development, application support, managed IT services, and system maintenance. Being a technology-oriented organization, all business processes are relying on a strong and stable IT infrastructure. The company will not operate without it. Now, how in the world do we define IT infrastructure? IT infrastructure is the complete arrangement of hardware, software, networks, storage, and services which an organization applies in managing, processing, storing, and communicating information. It forms the basis of technology on which all business systems operate. In the case of Quality Software SDN BHD, the major infrastructure issues are the high system availability for clients, managing growing data storage needs, protect sensitive customer information, and the performance of the network among the development and support teams of the company. In this video, we will do a step-by-step tour of each tier of their infrastructure to clarify how these challenges are resolved. Now we will proceed to consider the hardware and system overview of Quality Software SDN BHD. Any IT structure starts with physical equipment, the physical components that facilitate computing. At Quality Software SDN BHD, the hardware environment comprises servers which can host applications and store data, workstations and laptops which the developers and support staff use, networking devices like routers, switches, and firewalls which ensure that the company remains connected, and peripherals gadgets like printers and storage drives which are used in the day-to-day operations. The software layer comes above the hardware. There are two types of software which include system software and application software. System software also comprises operating systems that regulate the hardware and give a platform for other programs so they can operate. Application software consists of business applications or custom-built applications that the company develops and utilizes, like project management applications, client portals, and support ticketing applications. The information systems of Quality Software SDN BHD comprise both hardware and software. Integrated systems to capture, process, store, and disseminate information to support the decision-making process and daily operations of the business. Everything the company does for its clients depends on these information systems. Let's move on to storage. Quality Software SDN BHD deals with big data volumes of information on a daily basis, such as source code, client databases, and system logs. There are three storage media used by the company. To begin with, HDDs that utilize spinning magnetic disks and are suitable in mass data archive. Second, SSDs that have flash memory and they are much faster than HDDs. SSDs are utilized in operating systems and active databases. Third, optical devices like DVDs, which are applied to long-term archival and compliance backups. The second one is RAID, redundant array of independent disks. RAID is the method that links several drives into a single logical device to enhance performance and avoid information loss. RAID 1 copies data to 2 drives. RAID 5 copies data with parity to 3 or more drives, and RAID 10 is a combination of RAID 1 mirroring and RAID 5 stripping in order to achieve maximum performance and redundancy. Fiber channel is a high-speed networking technology that is specifically used in storage communication and provides very low latency and high throughput between the servers and the storage devices. Lastly, there is a Storage Area Network, or SAN, which is its specific high-speed network, which links servers directly to the storage. Host bus adapters, fiber channel switches, and storage arrays are its major components. Storage virtualization enables dynamism in the allocation of storage, and zoning in the case of security purposes enables which servers can access which storage devices, servers, and operating systems. Server is a powerful computer which offers services, resources, and data to other computers within a network. Quality Software SDN BHD has 4 categories of servers. A file server is a store and management of the shared documents and project files. Application server is a server that contains the software applications that are utilized within the enterprise and are also provided to the clients. The relational databases of the company are operated by a database server. Users are managed in a directory server which deals with authentication and access control. Continuing to the operating systems. Hardware resources are controlled and offer an application platform by an operating system. Quality Software SDN BHD is using Windows Server in Active Directory, file sharing and net applications, and Linux distributions like Ubuntu Server and Red Hat when used as web servers and database server based on their stability and cost-effectiveness. Lastly, reliability and availability. Quality Software SDN BHD has high availability through server clustering whereby in case one server crashes, it is automatically replaced by another server. Load balancing equally allocates traffic to the servers so that one server is not overloaded. Reliability is ensured by frequent hardware maintenance, system monitoring tools, and redundancy of power supply. All these measures make the systems of the company available and reliable at any given time. The next thing we are going to talk about is the network infrastructure of Quality Software SDN BHD. The company could not offer its services to its clients and support its internal operations without a well-designed network. Quality Software SDN BHD adopts a topology that is in 3 layers of structure. The central layer offers routing of a high-speed backbone. The policy enforcement and inter-VLAN routing are done by the distribution layer. Where end-user devices like computers and laptops are connected to the network is the access layer. The reason behind this topology is that it is scalable and is easy to manage and offers redundancy in all levels. The important networking devices are routers that are used to route traffic between networks, switches that are used to route data based on MAC addresses, firewalls that are used to block inbound and outbound traffic, and access points that are used to provide staff with wireless connectivity. Routing involves the selection of the most suitable route to be taken by data packets over networks. Quality Software SDN BHD employs static routing for fixed connections and OSPF for dynamic routing. Switching is a data link layer, and it transmits data frames effectively within the same segment of the network. Lastly, VLANs are used to logically divide the network into distinct isolated parts. Quality Software SDN BHD has different VLANs of the development team, financial department, client support team, and server management traffic, where the VLANs are separated. This is because inter-VLAN routing is controlled at the distribution layer and the sensitive data is isolated and safe. The next one is network security. Being an IT services company dealing with sensitive client data, it is important to note that network security is among the most crucial tasks of Quality Software SDN BHD. One security breach may lead to loss of data, damage of money, and distrust of clients. We shall begin with cryptography. Cryptography is the art of encrypting information by mathematical formula to ensure that it is only read by the authorized parties. These are of 2 kinds. Symmetric encryption is one that employs one key to encrypt and decrypt data. One of the popular ones is AES that Quality Software SDN BHD relies on to encrypt data stored and internal communications. Asymmetric encryption employs a private and a public key to encrypt and decrypt respectively. RSA has found application in exchange of secure keys and digital signatures. In the case of the encryption methods, the TLS and the SS are employed to encrypt the internet communications. VPNs establish tunnels of confidential links that enable remote workers to access the systems of the internal environment safely. Hashing is used to transform data into a constant value to ensure data integrity and the presence of tampering. Lastly, Quality Software SDN BHD adheres to CIA triad of data security. Confidentiality is used in order to allow sensitive data to be accessed by authorized users. Hashing and audit logs guarantee integrity, which means that data is not tampered. Availability provides systems with accessibility by use of redundancy, backup, and disaster recovery planning. Directory services. A directory service can be considered as a central database which contains information about all users, devices, and resources in the company network. Quality Software SDN BHD applies it to control access to which systems, files, and applications by employees. The name of the protocol which is employed to connect to this directory service is LDAP Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. In simple terms, LDAP is the language through which the computers interact with the directory server. It has a client-server architecture in which a client makes a request, and the server provides the needed information. The normal connections of LDAP use port 389, and the secure encrypted connections use port 636. The next one is the model of naming. LDAP structures the users and resources in a hierarchical tree known as the Directory Information Tree or DIT. Every resource or person is uniquely identified using an address known as Distinguished Name or DN. An example would be the address of John Tan of the Development Department, John Tan, Development, QualitySoftware.com. The information that is contained in each entry also includes username, email address, and job title. Lastly, the security model. LDAP secures directory information by use of authentication, where individuals are required to identify themselves by proving their identities before accessing, and authorization, where access control list or ACLs are implemented to determine what each user is permitted to see, edit, or delete. This is to make sure that the changes made on the directory are only made by authorized administrators. Now we will discuss applications and middleware. Quality Software SDN BHD designs and develops its applications based on the three-tier architecture. The first level is the presentation level, the interface that people are interacting with through a mobile application or a website. The second level is the application level where all the business logic and processes are processed. The third level is the data level, and it is the database that is used to store all the information. Then what is middleware? Middleware software is used to provide a link between applications and systems to enable them to communicate with other applications and systems. The systems of the company could not cooperate without the middleware. There are three types of middleware used by Quality Software SDN BHD. The message-oriented middleware is used to deliver messages between applications. The middleware transactions are those that are either complete or failure. Web Services middleware enables the systems to exchange communications through common protocols such as SOAP and HTTP. Lastly, deployment of web tier. The front-facing layer is known as the web tier, which interacts with the user request. Apache or Jinx web servers are used in Quality Software SDN BHD to accept and reply to these requests. The three-tier architecture with middleware enables the company to provide well-integrated, scalable, and reliable applications to its clients. Let's discuss about OLTP and dimensional modeling. These two are important concepts that facilitate the data operations of Quality Software SDN BHD. Online transaction processing is abbreviated as OLTP. It is a system that is designed to process a high amount of quick and short transactions in real time. Some OLTP examples at Quality Software SDN BHD are to raise a support ticket, take a service order, update a client record, and enter a system maintenance request. The OLTP systems are also streamlined to be quick and ensuring that each transaction is done properly and on time. Dimensional modeling. Whereas OLTP is used to carry out the day-to-day transactions, dimensional modeling is applied in reporting and business intelligence. It categorizes data in two kinds of tables. Measurable data are stored in fact tables, such as the number of support tickets resolved or the revenue generated in a month. Dimension tables give the context around that data, like the date, department, or the name of the client. The combination of these tables forms a star schema, and therefore it is simple and quick to query volumes of data for management reporting and decision-making at Quality Software SDN BHD. Ethics and professionalism. Quality Software SDN BHD has great ethical responsibilities as an IT services company dealing with sensitive data of clients. First, data privacy. The company will have to adhere to the Personal Data Protection Act or PDPA 2010 in Malaysia that regulates the collection, processing, and storage of personal data. The company guarantees that all personal information is encrypted, access is regulated, and clients are informed on how their information is utilized. Second, security ethics. Employees accessing such systems are required to follow a strict confidentiality agreements, and they should never abuse their access privileges. Any illegal access to client information is not only ethically wrong, but also a criminal offense according to the Computer Crimes Act 1997 in Malaysia. Finally, professional standards. Quality Software SDN BHD follows ISO/IC 27001 Information Security Management and ITIL for Information Technology Service Management best practices. These standards make the company conduct its operations at a professional and reliable level, which makes clients trust the services offered. And that brings us to the end of this video. We have discussed the entire IT infrastructure landscape of Quality Software SDN BHD, including hardware and storage, servers, networking, security, directory services, middleware, and ethics. An excellent infrastructure provides the business with high availability, good security, and the capability of providing reliable services to the customers. Thanks for watching.